Cluster bombs, banned by over 100 nations due to the threat they pose to civilians, and now on their way to the Ukrainian military as its counter-offensive grinds on. The US announced it was sending the controversial munitions on Friday to restock Ukraine's rapidly depleting arsenal. It is not a signatory to the 2008 Convention on Cluster Munitions. Neither is Russia or Ukraine. Among the voices you might expect to hear criticising the US, a number of Washington's allies also questioned the shipment.
Well, the UK is signatory to a convention which prohibits the production or use of cluster munitions and discourages their use.
Canada, New Zealand and Spain made similar noises, as have human rights organisations. Cluster munitions are an indiscriminate weapon that presents a grave threat to civilian lives, even long after a conflict has ended. Their transfer and use by any country under any circumstances is incompatible with international law. The weapon acts by scattering explosives in the air, saturating the ground underneath. While they are indiscriminate, cluster bombs are also very effective, particularly against a thinner armour on top of fighting vehicles and against entrenched infantry.
The problem with cluster munitions is dud rate. Because these munitions drop large numbers of what are bomblets, depending on how they land, some of them don't go off and will hang around.
But as Washington and Kyiv point out, they are not introducing these weapons to the battlefield. Russia did that months ago. And between 20 and 30% of Ukraine is already contaminated with mines and other unexploded ordnance.
Russia's been using cluster munitions with high dud or failure rates of between 30 and 40%. The cluster munitions that we would provide have dud rates far below what Russia is providing, not higher than 2.5%.
Ukraine's defense minister, Alexei Reznikov, committed to rules guiding how the weapons would be used, ruling out targeting urban areas or territory inside Russia. His argument for their use is simple. Using cluster bombs may endanger civilian lives, but the Russian military endangers them more.